In this video, we'll explore one of the most well-known and powerful substances in the world, LSD, or lysergic acid diethylamide. LSD is a hallucinogenic drug that has been both celebrated and controversial for its ability to alter perception, mood, and consciousness. We'll dive into its history, how it affects the brain and body, and why it's important to approach such substances with caution. It's essential to remember that drug use is not necessary to lead a fulfilling or meaningful life. While some people may seek out substances like LSD in search of new experiences, self-discovery, or personal growth, there are countless other ways to achieve insight, creativity, and emotional well-being. In this video, our goal is to provide clear, scientifically backed information to help you make informed decisions and understand both the risks and potential effects associated with LSD. So let's dive in and explore what LSD is, how it works in the brain, and why its use carries significant risks. Whether you're curious, concerned, or simply want to learn more, this video is here to inform and educate. Lysergic acid diethylamide, more commonly known as LSD, is a synthetic psychoactive substance that has been both a source of fascination and controversy for decades. This powerful compound is primarily known for its ability to induce hallucinogenic experiences, altering perception, mood, and cognition. It was first synthesized in 1938 by Swiss chemist Albert Hofmann at the Sandoz Laboratories. Hofmann was working on compounds related to ergot, a fungus that affects rye and other grains, to develop a potential drug to control blood circulation. LSD's mind-altering effects were accidentally discovered by Hofmann in 1943 when he inadvertently absorbed a small amount of the compound through his skin. Despite its initial development as a medication, LSD's effects quickly captivated both the scientific and countercultural communities. In the 1950s and 1960s, LSD was researched as a potential treatment for various mental health conditions, including schizophrenia and alcoholism. However, by the late 1960s, the drug had become widely associated with the counterculture and anti-establishment movements. This led to widespread recreational use and subsequent government crackdowns, culminating in its classification as a Schedule I controlled substance in the United States under the Controlled Substances Act of 1970. LSD's historical significance and continued use, both in research and recreational contexts, makes it a unique substance in the landscape of psychoactive drugs. Despite its illegal status, recent years have seen a renewed interest in researching the potential therapeutic applications of LSD and other psychedelics. Clinical trials are underway investigating their possible role in treating mental health conditions such as depression, PTSD, and addiction. Understanding how LSD works begins with its interaction with the brain's neurotransmitter systems, particularly serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that helps regulate various functions in the brain, such as mood, sleep, appetite, and cognition. It plays a central role in maintaining emotional stability, influencing mood regulation, and the processing of sensory information. LSD shares a similar chemical structure to serotonin, which allows it to bind to serotonin receptors in the brain and influence their activity. The 5-HT2A receptor is considered the key site of action for LSD's effects. LSD's binding to serotonin receptors in the brain leads to significant changes in neuronal activity, altering the way the brain processes sensory input. This process is thought to disrupt normal cognitive and sensory processing. For example, The brain typically receives and interprets sensory input in a highly organized manner, with distinct regions processing visual, auditory, and tactile information. LSD's interaction with serotonin receptors distorts this organization, leading to altered sensory experiences. For many users, the primary effects of LSD are visual hallucinations, which can include vibrant colors, geometric patterns, and the perception of objects morphing or breathing. These hallucinations are not limited to visual stimuli. Users may also experience auditory distortions, such as hearing sounds that do not exist or perceiving music as more vivid and emotionally charged. Some users report synesthesia, a blending of the senses where, for example, they may see sounds or hear colors. These perceptual changes are accompanied by an altered sense of time and space. Time may appear to stretch or compress, and users may feel as if they are outside of time itself. This is commonly referred to as a timeless experience, where users may lose the ability to track time as it passes, leading to a sense of eternity. Some users may also report a feeling of enhanced or altered self-awareness, leading to profound insights about their own lives, thoughts, or relationships. Beyond its effects on perception, LSD has notable physical effects on the body. One of the most common physiological responses to LSD use is the stimulation of the sympathetic nervous system, which triggers the fight or flight response. This leads to an increase in heart rate, higher blood pressure, and dilated pupils. These effects can be alarming, particularly for individuals with pre-existing cardiovascular conditions. However, for most users, these symptoms subside as the drug's effects wear off. LSD can also affect body temperature regulation, leading some users to feel unusually hot or cold. Sweating is a common side effect, and users may experience sensations of physical discomfort, such as nausea, dizziness, or even stomach cramps. These effects are generally mild and short-lived, although they can contribute to the overall discomfort of the experience, particularly if the user is unprepared for the intensity of the drug's effects. One intriguing effect of LSD is the sensation of body highs. These sensations are often described as tingling, vibrating, or floating, and they can be both pleasurable and disorienting. The body may feel light, heavy, or as if it is merging with the surrounding environment. For some, these physical sensations add to the overall sense of euphoria and spiritual awakening, while others may find them uncomfortable or disorienting. Tolerance to LSD develops quickly with repeated use. This means that regular users may need to take higher doses to achieve the same effects. However, tolerance to LSD is not permanent and typically dissipates after a few days of abstinence. This rapid development and disappearance of tolerance can lead to risky behavior, as individuals may attempt to increase their dosage to recapture the intensity of the experience. The most well-known effects of LSD are its impacts on mental health and perception. The drug is often associated with altered states of consciousness that can lead to both profound insights and intense emotional experiences. These effects are highly variable and depend on factors such as the user's mindset, environment, and dosage. LSD's effects on perception are typically characterized by vivid visual and auditory hallucinations, which can range from subtle distortions to full-fledged immersive experiences. Many individuals report enhanced sensory experiences where colors appear more vibrant and sounds are perceived with greater clarity or depth. Common visual experiences include geometric patterns, kaleidoscopic imagery, and the sensation that objects are breathing or pulsating. Some users experience tracers, where moving objects leave a trail behind them, or after images, where bright lights create lingering impressions in the visual field. In addition to visual and auditory alterations, LSD can also profoundly affect a person's sense of time and self. Time may feel as if it is stretching or speeding up, and some users report feeling as if they have transcended the limitations of the present moment, entering a timeless state. This altered sense of time often contributes to the experience of being in the moment, as users may feel deeply immersed in the present, losing the sense of past and future. Ego dissolution is another key aspect of the LSD experience. Ego dissolution refers to the phenomenon where the boundaries between the self and the external world seem to blur, leading to a sense of unity with the universe. For some, this experience is described as deeply spiritual, while for others, it may be disorienting and unsettling. The sense of interconnectedness with everything around them can lead users to feel more empathetic, compassionate, and reflective. While LSD's effects can be transformative and enlightening, they can also be distressing, particularly for those who are not adequately prepared for the intensity of the experience. A bad trip refers to an unpleasant or frightening experience during an LSD trip, often characterized by overwhelming fear, paranoia, and anxiety. Bad trips are more likely to occur in stressful or unfamiliar environments, or if the user is feeling anxious, insecure, or mentally unprepared for the experience. During a bad trip, users may feel trapped in a distorted reality, unable to distinguish between what is real and what is hallucinated. The experience may be accompanied by intense negative emotions such as panic, confusion, or feelings of doom. In extreme cases, a bad trip may lead to lasting psychological distress, although these effects usually subside after the drug has worn off. Nevertheless, the intensity of a bad trip can cause individuals to have lingering feelings of anxiety, paranoia, or fear, even after the experience is over. Additionally, while most individuals recover from a bad trip, repeated or prolonged use of LSD can exacerbate underlying mental health issues. For example, individuals with a predisposition to conditions such as anxiety, depression, or psychosis may find that LSD use worsens their symptoms or triggers the onset of more severe psychological disorders. Some users have reported experiencing long-term changes in mood or cognition after using LSD, including symptoms of depression, anxiety, or increased susceptibility to psychosis. One of the primary dangers of LSD use is the impairment of judgment, which can lead to risky behavior and accidents. LSD's profound effects on perception can distort an individual's ability to assess risks accurately, making activities such as driving, operating heavy machinery, or engaging in physical activity extremely dangerous. Users may experience a distorted sense of spatial awareness, making it difficult to judge distances or recognize obstacles in their environment. The lack of clear decision-making during an LSD trip can also lead to impulsive and dangerous behavior. Some users may engage in reckless actions, such as walking into traffic or jumping from heights, believing they are invulnerable or that they can fly. This impairment of judgment is a significant risk, particularly in individuals who are inexperienced with the drug or who are in unfamiliar or unsafe environments. Moreover, because LSD can cause a heightened sense of emotional intensity, users may be more likely to engage in emotionally driven decisions, such as having intense personal confrontations or pursuing risky social behaviors. These decisions, though seemingly harmless in the moment, can have long-term repercussions for relationships and personal well-being. The legal status of LSD is a significant factor that individuals must consider before using the substance. LSD is classified as a schedule I controlled substance in many countries, including the United States, Canada, and most European nations. This classification means that LSD is considered to have a high potential for abuse and no accepted medical use, making its possession, distribution, and use illegal under most circumstances. In the United States, individuals caught with even small amounts of LSD can face serious legal consequences, including heavy fines and imprisonment. The severity of the penalty depends on the quantity of the substance in possession and whether the individual is found to be trafficking or distributing it. Many countries have similar legal restrictions in place, and individuals who use or possess LSD may face significant legal and financial consequences, including arrest, prosecution, and a permanent criminal record. Beyond the legal consequences, there are also social ramifications for individuals who use LSD. The stigma surrounding psychedelics, especially LSD, is still prevalent in many societies. Individuals who use the drug may be labeled as reckless, irresponsible, or mentally unstable. This stigma can affect personal relationships, social standing, and professional prospects, especially in environments where drug use is strongly frowned upon. While LSD is not physically addictive in the traditional sense, long-term use of the drug can still have significant effects on both the brain and body. Chronic use of LSD may lead to alterations in brain chemistry, particularly in the serotonin system. Since serotonin plays a critical role in regulating mood, sleep, and appetite, disruptions to serotonin levels may contribute to long-term psychological and emotional difficulties. In some cases, long-term LSD use has been associated with persistent changes in cognitive function. Some users report difficulties with memory, concentration, and learning ability after repeated use of the drug. These cognitive impairments can interfere with daily functioning, making it harder for individuals to perform tasks that require focus and attention. Additionally, individuals who use LSD regularly may experience a diminished capacity for emotional regulation. This can manifest as increased susceptibility to mood swings, anxiety, or depression. Chronic LSD use can also lead to a phenomenon known as psychological dependence, where users feel compelled to use the drug regularly to recapture the feelings of euphoria or heightened perception. Given the risks associated with LSD, it is important to take steps to reduce harm if choosing to use the substance. Harm reduction is an approach that focuses on minimizing the potential dangers of drug use without necessarily advocating for complete abstinence. For individuals who choose to use LSD, creating a safe, supportive environment is essential. A comfortable, familiar setting can help users feel at ease and reduce the likelihood of a negative or distressing experience. It is also critical to use the substance responsibly and with caution. LSD is a potent drug, and even slight variations in dosage can lead to drastically different experiences. Testing the purity of the substance when possible and being mindful of dosage are important steps to ensure that the drug is consumed safely. Additionally, individuals should avoid combining LSD with other substances, including alcohol or other drugs, as this can increase the risk of unpredictable interactions and negative side effects. Having a trusted, sober trip sitter present is another harm reduction strategy. This person can offer emotional support during the experience, help reassure the user if they begin to feel anxious or frightened, and provide assistance if necessary. Trip sitters should ideally be familiar with the effects of LSD and be prepared to intervene if the user begins to experience a bad trip. LSD is a potent psychoactive substance with the ability to alter perception, mood, and cognition in profound ways. Although it has been historically used for recreational, spiritual, and therapeutic purposes, it is a drug that carries significant risks, particularly in terms of mental health, impaired judgment, and legal consequences. As research into the therapeutic potential of psychedelics like LSD continues, it is essential for individuals to understand the risks associated with the substance before making the decision to use it. The effects of LSD are complex and multifaceted, affecting not only the brain but also the body. While some individuals may experience transformative, euphoric, or spiritually meaningful experiences, others may encounter intense fear, confusion, or psychological distress. The potential for long-term psychological effects, such as hallucinogen persisting perception disorder, HPPD, or exacerbation of mental health issues, makes it crucial for individuals to approach LSD use with caution. Ultimately, the decision to use LSD should be made with a full understanding of its effects, risks, and legal implications. Harm reduction strategies, such as using the drug in a safe and supportive environment, testing the substance for purity, and having a sober trip sitter, can help mitigate some of the risks. However, individuals should always be aware that even with precautions, the use of LSD remains inherently unpredictable and potentially dangerous. As the story of LSD's history, effects, and the ongoing research into its potential benefits unfolds, it becomes clear that this powerful substance occupies a unique space in both science and society. From its unexpected discovery by Albert Hofmann to its widespread influence on culture and psychology, LSD's journey has been anything but straightforward. Initially seen as a potential medical breakthrough, it later became a symbol of rebellion and enlightenment, only to be banned and labeled dangerous as concerns about its misuse grew. Today, as we move into an era of renewed interest in psychedelics, there is hope that the lessons learned from past decades can guide future research and usage. Clinical trials are once again exploring the possibility of using LSD in the treatment of mental health disorders, offering a new perspective on a substance that was once feared and misunderstood. With the increasing body of scientific evidence supporting its therapeutic potential, we may be on the verge of rediscovering its positive applications, this time with a deeper understanding and a more responsible approach. However, the importance of caution cannot be overstated. The personal stories of those who have experienced both the highs and the lows of LSD's effects serve as a reminder that, while it can be a gateway to self-discovery or profound insights, it also carries risks that must not be ignored. The intense psychological experiences it triggers can be life-changing, but not always in ways that are predictable or manageable without the right support. Ultimately, whether LSD is used for therapeutic purposes or for personal exploration, it must be approached with respect and responsibility. The key lies in the understanding that this powerful substance, like all mind-altering substances, should be used with great care, if at all. It's a reminder that we are still in the process of understanding not only how LSD interacts with the brain and body, but also how we, as a society, can navigate the fine line between exploration and caution. As our journey with substances like LSD continues, the most important takeaway is the need for education, awareness, and a willingness to adapt as new insights emerge. LSD's story is far from over, but by acknowledging both its potential and its risks, we can ensure that it is used wisely in the future, with a greater focus on enhancing well-being rather than seeking shortcuts to enlightenment. In the end, the true value of this mind-altering substance may not lie in the high it produces, but in the lessons we learn about the mind, about consciousness, and about ourselves.